Hello, people of God. We are starting a sermon series on singing the Psalms for the next 5 weeks, and we will explore how the Psalms show human emotion and a reaction to God and God's presence in our life. Even though the Psalms are ancient songs and ancient stories, they still speak to us today because they cover the entire gamut of what we feel as people. Today, the Psalm is Psalm 139. Well, I was going to go with the lectionary, and that's what the lectionary offers us, but it chunks it up and only gives us a few of the verses of the entire psalm. And I was curious as to why. Take a moment and read the entire psalm. Don't just read the verses that we have designated for the week, which is verses 1 to 6 and then 13 to 18. Read all 24 verses, because in the middle of the psalm is the reason the psalm was written. So, the part that's there for us that we're supposed to read today is the part that we already know. It's the part about God knowing us and that there's nowhere that we can turn, that God's not there. It's not a creepy stalker feeling. This is a reassuring thing that no matter how far away we think we are always in the presence of God. So much so that God knew us in the womb and that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. This psalm is to remind us that God was there in our past and in our present and absolutely is a part of our future. And that is worth singing. That is a psalm of praise. It's a song of worship. But that's not why Psalm 139 was written. So today I invite you to think. I invite you to imagine what happened in the life of the psalmist to give us this powerful, powerful song of praise. Well, we don't know. We weren't there. And for some reason, they don't write down the autobiography or the biography of the early songwriters. So let's imagine. Because this song has such beautiful praise, and then it goes to a very dark place, asking for God to condemn other people. And then it comes back with an impassioned plea, search me, try me, know my heart. This song is a conversation between the psalmist and God, and it uses the language of you and I, where you is God, and I is the songwriter. As we read this song, we hear a story of someone who has had a problem in their life. Something has happened. This faithful person of God has encountered the reality of living in the world. Something has, or someone has pulled them away. We don't know what that away thing is. It could be an addiction. It could be sliding into not showing up to church on Sunday. It could be not attending to spiritual disciplines. It could be something really bad. Whatever really bad is, you can imagine. So take whatever it is that you've done in your life, those things that you're not really so proud of, and lay it onto the life of the psalmist. And we have this person, and I picture him or her sitting in the dark, maybe in a sanctuary or a synagogue or a temple, reflecting on the darkness of their behavior. And they look to God and say, God, you've already searched me and tried me, and you know everything about me. There's nowhere I can go to escape from you. You, God, already know everything I've ever done. You know everything I think. You know what I'm going to say before I say it. So why should I try to hide it from you? I think you're incredible, God, and I can't imagine your ways. I don't know how you know all this stuff, but you do. And that is worthy of praise. Because, God, you are so big. But, God, I have a problem. I have a big problem. And I need your help. Because in my life, there are forces of evil and wickedness that I cannot control. And I am not strong enough to ignore or to stay away from them, because those forces are so powerful. But they're not as powerful as you. So you, God, I need you to help me get rid of these things in my life. I need you to help me be the person you've made me to be. That is the psalm. And the psalmist comes right back to the conclusion. Search me, God. Try me. You know what's in my heart. You know I want to be a good person after your heart. That I want to be a disciple of Jesus Christ, transforming the world in your name. You know, God. You know I want to walk on that path that leads to everlasting life. That is a really cool song. And my prayer today is that each one of us can sing this song from our heart. That we can look at the world and the life that we live in it. And we can acknowledge that we aren't always perfect. That sometimes we make crazy bad choices, or at least poor ones. But sometimes we need to come back to God and say, hey, God, you know everything already, so let me just lay it out there. With God, you don't have to be politically correct. You don't have to put your filters on. You can just let it out because God already knows all of it. And God still loves you. Through the grace of Jesus Christ, we are forgiven, loved, and freed. And for that, people of God, I say, thanks be to God.